I'm 1 coin away from another marble slot. It's tantalizing. Ladies and gentlemen, the Raging Pin, originally from Season 1, revamped in Season 10, and Aaron with a straight shot through that Plinko board down into the double side and right into the mixing pan. But they get a hard stop on the first blade of the mixing pan, and they're going to have a lot of work cut out for them if they want to keep going in first place. Go Teach, Woobronx Killer, and Scarver all trying to catch up from behind in second place, and it looks like Aaron has been denied again. Woobronx Killer has the best line so far coming through, but they hit that Steve right towards the end. It looks like they're going to be going around a couple more times. Aaron tries to get through the right side. Bronx Killer once again going back into first place, and it looks like Bronx Killer is going to have the lead here as they make their way down into the exit and into the turbo industrial particular, trying to stay ahead of the competition. All the players still trying to get through. Go Teach in second, Scorpion third, and Aaron back in fourth place, just trying to get out of that mixing pan. Go Teach trying to overtake Woobronx Killers to make their way out of the exit, but looks like Go Teach is going to be right behind Woobronx Killers to make their way down the slides. Oh my goodness, dangerous slides careening around the track. Woobronx Killer almost goes over the intersection, but they do manage to go through in the right direction. Scorpion tries to get through, and they do go over the intersection, and they've been eliminated. Go Teach tries to get through on a slow roll on the left-hand side. Bronx Killer screaming down the track, trying to get ahead of everyone else, but keep in mind that Camel Killer record is set by skipping off of these pins into the straight shot on that vortex opener, circumventing the Raging Pin entirely, and that's what you're going to need to do if you want to have that record time. Goji trying to get through in second place. Bronx Killer hold first place for now as they go through the last set of pins. It looks like Aaron come up to the top of the chute, trying to catch up from behind, but I don't know if they're going to be able to make anything happen on those pins. They go through the first one, they go through the second one, over the top of the third one, and Aaron goes straight through everything. It's blasted off to the right side of the divide, overtakes Go Teach and closes the gap on Bronx Killer. Is Aaron actually going to be able to hit the intersection on the first pass through? Yes, they are, and Aaron has gone from last to first with an absolutely tremendous descent down the stairs through the pins and pistons with perfect timing and accuracy, getting themselves out into the straightaway onto the Raging Pin they go. Bronx Killer coming out second place. Go Teach trying to get through there, but they went the wrong way in the intersection. Here comes Aaron trying to get the first blast off of the Raging Pin. Oh, but they've missed the timing, and now it looks like Bronx Killer's going to have a chance to catch up from behind, but Bronx Killer's still not having any success getting through that pan with any speed whatsoever. Aaron now going around the Raging Pin. Aaron trying to get through on the straight line, but they've missed the timing. Bronx Killer misses as well, and both players are now just circling around trying to find the courage to get themselves through that Raging Pin. Go Teach coming up from behind, trying to get a good shot. They're going to miss it as well, but I think all three players are about to collide, and that should give them a dead drop into the center here, and that's going to let the Raging Pin set all three of them at the same time. And ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a close race. All three players blasting off. Bronx Killer actually hits the top line, not heeding the warning of Louisiana Jones. They're going to have to go through only a second time. Aaron and Go Teach go for those straight shots. Straight down, looks like Aaron straight down through the triple side, trying to get through, but they get too careful not to overshoot the wind bit, and Aaron takes the victory in first place with an amazing comeback performance. Go Teach trying to get through second. Bronx Killer trying to get through third. Was they have to go through the Raging Pin one more time. Looks like Go Teach is in the wind bit. It looks like Bronx Killer is not going anywhere. Going to go for a slow roll past this Raging Pin and have to go back one more time. Oh my goodness, is Bronx Killer going to go through a third time? No, they're not. They just barely avoid the humiliation. Although that would have given them the first ever endurance record on this course. There used to be an endurance record on the old version, but in the new version, it's a lot harder to hit on that slide. But it looks like Bronx Killer is not going to be deterred. 1 minute and 28 seconds still remaining as they make their way down the triple side in the women to finish out this race in third place. And Woobronx Killer is going to do it, and that is it for the track. 2 more sets of pins and 1 set of pistons to finish out this race. Oxide with a pretty good line on left and right side. Cuts off to left side. Tries to get through these pistons with a good line past the last set of pins. And will Oxide be able to get through these pins, or will they be eliminated? Out up on the left hand side trying to avoid it. And no, they hit the pin on the left hand side trying to go for a slow roll to the right. But they got to be careful not to get blasted by the next pin. And boom, back side. Looks like Oxide is annihilated by the pin, and Bronx Killer has been eliminated as well. So now Scorba is in first place on the right side, but Grandma's Cookies are going to come back from behind, trying to blast their way through those pins. Spoontree tries to get through, but they get caught up with the pistons, and all 3 players just trying to finish out the race. Scorba comes off the left-hand side, tries to get through the pistons on the left-hand side as they go through, having a little bit of trouble, and that's going to give them a slow roll across the next set of pins, and this could be deadly for Scorba. Tries to get through with a straight shot past these ramming pins, going for that middle pin, and will they have the perfect timing, or will they get deflected? Coming up on the right-hand side, and just barely misses getting eliminated, but their bounce off the left-hand side misses elimination again. 1 more pin to avoid. Can Scorba get off without getting blasted out? No, they get blasted up to the top, but Scorba's still got a pretty good line. The Ghost is blinking badly. The lightning screaming from his sides, trying to find some way back on the track as Grandma's Cookies goes off the left-hand side to try to get through those ramming pins on their own line and down to the wind bit in first place as Scorba's just blinking and squinting in agony, just hoping something's going to happen to get themselves down into this wind bit as Grandma's Cookies stumbles on the left-hand side of the pins. And here comes Scorba coming back down to the track. Grandma's Cookies gets off to the right-hand side, and it's going to be a close one for Scorba trying to get the dunk into the wind bit ahead of Grandma's Cookies is coming up on the left-hand side. It's going to be a really close one. Can Scorba get the line on the wind bit, or are they going to miss it? Scorba just barely on the right, and no! Scorba has missed the landing. falling in the wind bin, and Grandma's Cookies takes the victory. Spoontree tries to get through in second place, having a little trouble on that left-hand side. Has to get down through the last set of pins and tries to get through on the right-hand side, past the next set of pistons and into the next set of pins, and no, they're stopped dead on the first piston on that right-hand side, trying to get down into the wind bin to finish out this race, and it looks like Spoontree going to be very close here on the right-hand side, but having a little bit of trouble around those pins, and finally gets through into the wind bin to finish it out in second place with a minute and 8 seconds left to go. I can't. At this point, it doesn't matter. You're going for a mutually beneficial strategy here to get both players slowed down on each other so they go for a better dead drop into the center of the player turn, staying ahead of Scorpion and Spoontree. But it looks like Scorpion and Spoontree are starting to put a move on the other two players, and all four players are coming out at the same time. Ayame first, Smoke, Gravy second, Spoontree third, Scorpion fourth place, making their down into the new improved bingo ball. Who's going to be able to get through this bingo ball first? Spoontree has already got a good line on the left-hand side. Scorpion trying to close the gap there as they go through on the right-hand side. Both players trying to get through, but they missed the exit on the first time through. Going to have to get it on the second one. Here goes Smoke, Gravy from behind. Well, way too much speed. They're not going to be able to do it either. So it is going to be Scorpion and Spoontree making their way across into the water wheel in first place. Both ahead of the record time, but can they get the skip here? Out up to the radar scanner. Both players coming at the same time. Rollerback goes over the top of the skip on the right-hand side, trying to signal landing down the track, and Scorba sticks the landing in the track ahead of the record time, and Scorba's going to go for it, ladies and gentlemen. Coming down at the bottom of the side, coming out of the bottom track, and across the cheese grater, running through the water wheel, well ahead of the record time, and trying to finish out this race in first place with a new record time, and will they be able to do it? Trying to get down to the water wheel as quickly as possible. They're up on the right-hand side, making their way down into the cheese disintegrator, trying to get through into the windmill to finish out this race in first place. Trying to get through. Oh, they're stopped in the middle of the cheese disintegrator, trying to get through on the left-hand side, and trying to stay under the record time, but the record time is a pretty good performance, and no, Scorba loses it all on the cheese disintegrator. Gonna have to settle for a measly first place finish with no record time, but still an amazing performance by Scorba. Spoontree trying to get through in second place. That's kind of big down to the water wheel. Looks like Eagle got eliminated. I don't even know how, and I don't even care. Bubblecar coming out of the third, red cars before the Alba in fifth place, trying to get across the cheese grater down to that water wheel. As Spoontree crosses the line into second place. Looks like it's gonna be Killer App, Custom Fitted Martin coming up from behind, trying to close the gap and get themselves down into some place other than last. Bubblecar already coming through on the left side of the cheese disintegrator, having a little bit of trouble. The red cars, the Alba both trying to scoot out the right side as Bubblecar gets back to the exit and right down the side to go. And it looks like it is gonna be Bubblecar third, red cars before the Alba fifth, Killer App at sixth place, Custom Fitted on the left side is up, but Marty already screaming through from behind, got overtaken, finishing out in seventh place. Custom Fitted got himself eighth place, and that is gonna do it for the race. Jesus Christ. And people are dying already. Looks like Woodbox Killer and Frecklety taking the current first place position, but looks like they're having a little bit of trouble in that first pan of force cubes. Coming up to the second pan of force cubes, or we're already into the third. We're already into the third fan of force cubes. It is going to be the Glorious Mustache and Michelangelo trying to wiggle their way through into first place, but both players caught up in the debris in that third pan. In the second pan, it's going to be Frecklety trying to get loose in the left-hand side. Woodbox Killer going to get ahead, though, and they'll be going through on the right-hand side. Chesney trying to come back from behind, but they just fall right out of the map. As Woodbox Killer comes up into the third pan, but it looks like they're going to get stopped up for the cube on the right-hand side. Mustache looking to hit that boost on the right-hand side, but they got to be careful with their line not to go flying out of the map. Coming down to the fourth pan of force cube, trying to get through. Blast right through the cube and right down to the left-hand side in the final line of cubes, but they are caught up in the debris. Michelangelo and Chris Turtle trying to come from behind, and is Chris Turtle actually going to go for a victory here on one of the most difficult courses in existence? I don't know. Chris Turtle stopped up on the right-hand side, but now in second place in that fourth pan of cubes, waiting for the debris to clear. As Frecklety, Michelangelo, Sickfoot all start to come back from behind. Woodbox Killer coming up as well as they had those boosters down into this pan of force cubes. It looks like all players are going through. Woodbox Killer coming up on that right-hand side. I think they've overtaken it in first place. It is going to be, I believe, Slickfoot trying to get through in second place, and they come up into the fifth pan of cubes. Both players hitting the debris on the left-hand side. Woodbox Killer trying to go for the slow roll on the left-hand side, but they are completely buried up in the debris, as is Slickfoot on the left-hand side. So it looks like it's going to be Frecklety, Michelangelo, and Chris Turtle all trying to get through on the right-hand side. Debris finally clears for Chris Turtle, but Frecklety coming around in third place. Chris Turtle all the way back in fifth place as Frecklety tries to boost on the right-hand side right through the debris, and Michelangelo goes right back into the reset warper, and oh no, ladies and gentlemen, Michelangelo's gone all the way back to the beginning. Clear shot through, blast right through the cubes, hitting the cubes right on the debris on the right-hand side, and actually manages not to die as they hit this last booster into the fifth pan of cubes. And is Michelangelo going to go for a full reset back into first place? Doesn't look like it, but it looks like Woodbox Killer coming up on the right-hand side into that first pair of cubes, trying to get through in first place. But here comes Frecklety, Michelangelo, and Sickfoot coming up from behind, and Chris Turtle also going up from behind as well. So Frecklety looking to finish in second place as they can, or looking to overtake second place into first as they go through on the right-hand side, trying to get around that debris. But it looks like they're just going to blast right into the back of Woodbox Killer. Here comes Sickfoot and Michelangelo from behind, and Sickfoot is going to bounce over the right-hand side, but the debris is finally clear. And Chris Turtle with a chance to come back from behind with a straight shot boost here past the first pair of cubes and get themselves down into the second pair of cubes. There they go on the right-hand side, trying to get through the first pair of cubes. It looks like they got around it, trying to get through with a very wobbly line to get around the second pair of cubes. Slickfoot caught up on the left-hand side, trying to get around the cubes, but it's not going to happen. Woodbox Killer trying to get through on the right-hand side. Chris Turtle trying to find a good line, but it looks like they're going to go right for the center of the cubes as Woodbox Killer and Frecklety both escape on the right-hand side, getting themselves down into the third pair of cubes on that right center track, and it is going to be Frecklety. Woodbox Killer caught up in the third pair of cubes. Chris Turtle, Michelangelo, and Sickfoot waiting to come back from behind, and it looks like all players are going to get stopped up on the final layer of cubes, and this is going to be a photo finish of 5 marbles. I don't know if we've actually had a 5-way photo finish before. But as long as my mouth can keep up with those consonant clusters, I think we'll be okay. So on the left-hand side, it's going to be Chris Turtle with Michael Lano, 6 foot, Freckle, and Boombox Killer all trying to get through. On the final pair of course, to get down to the photo finish of 5 players, and it looks like all players are waiting for that because to be declared before we hit the finals descent into the windbed, and it's going to be a very close one, ladies and gentlemen. The players list coming through on the left-hand side is Freckle trying to take the lane, but it looks like Chris Turtle on the right-hand side, and is Chris Turtle actually going to jump down to the center line? Chris Turtle actually got down on the left-hand side of the last line of cubes into first place, and Chris Turtle with the photo finish victory. 2 minutes and 40 seconds. I can barely believe my eyes, ladies and gentlemen.